The button work that time? Let's say yes. It says that I am broadcasting. So I think that worked. Hello and good morning. I have, as far as a project to work on, I don't know really if we're going to do that one, but what it is, it's a conversion from MBR to GPT.
DougBot said, "Hey, is this
I'm
thing on?"
stuck at a point right now that I've come across before. I know how to solve it, but don't remember right offhand. I think what I have to do is shrink down the C drive a little bit to make free space available for Macrium Reflect fixed boot problems to be able to put, I think it's the recovery partition it has to create. So anyway, I don't know if we'll get to that. I have a couple of emails that are not really topics that somebody's having trouble with the computer right now. But they could be of interest. I've got a little different setup now, so if you see me looking a little weird as my eyes are darting around, it's a little unusual for me. So I'm going to pop out chat and say hello to people here. Oh, was I seeing jitteriness? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Ken Stout, first to show up in chat last night. We had a little chit chat about an issue going on with YouTube that we got fixed. Hello, Arnold Albert, Scott, Parker Morris, Rick Lakes, Jeff Ryman, David Graham, Selden Ball, Chris Garrett, Ran Israel, Domin 2000, Greg Emigan, Zavi Minor, New Day, New Week. Yeah, no. Well, okay, for those who consider Saturday to be the first day of the week, I suppose. Jeff Ryman says buffering. Yeah, let's see. What do I have? I do have drop frames. Yeah, now let's see. I have a different button now for that. So if I take you to screen 3, then you're going to get the mirroring, but I'm showing drop frames 17%, 17.6, 17.5, 17.4. So it's going down percentage-wise. The number, 814 drop frames and 829. So you just saw a little buffering there. Yeah, so how bad is this going to be? Jim KJ3N in the first 3 minutes. Does that mean he's on time? Certainly. Well, let's see. I guess as I've been here's the different thing. I'm pointing to the chat messages right now, but you can't see me pointing because I'm pointing on our preview screen. I have to move my mouse over to the actual screen that has chat, which is over there, but I'm looking at it here, and I can move my mouse up and down and see it. Highlight. Should we give Jim points for being here early or being here on time? Jim, I got to see if points are working, right? So sure, why not? Why the heck not? I own the business. I own the business, so I could do it if I want. Sam Lazar is here. He's the one of the emails. He's asking for help with picking a different port replicator or port expansion, whatever you want to call those things.
Read chat, please.
William's office says, hello, Ken. Yeah, I don't know why you wanted to do a read chat for that. That's not really a proper use of read chat. Drop frames, don't break frames. Oh, break frames. That's pretty good. Never actually thought of that, Chris. Yeah, I'll give you chuckle points for that. Drop frames, don't break the windows. If you're dropping the window frame, I think is what that means. I'll give you a chuckle points. Mike Wojcik, hello. If I come up here to 3-dot menu and see participants, this gives me everybody in a single instance so that I can tell whether I've said hello to everybody. I think I said hello to Phil Stodd. If not, then hello. I wonder what other alarms I absent-mindedly scheduled to go off during showtime. Oh my gosh, I have a bunch of them. I'm just going to turn them all off. I'll have to go back and look at them later. Like 5 alarms going off in the 11 o'clock hour. Does anybody have current issues that they're dealing with in chat? If not, we will go deal with Sam's request that came in by email. Yeah, my mouse is on the wrong screen again. Oh, consider buffering. Drop frames 1095. That's what I should go check and see. Let's take that off screen and go bring up speed test. And see how bad this is. Should we just give up on it? 1095 still. During a stream, I should be up around 20 megabits per second, I think it is. No, that's not right. No, this is right. This is right. Because when I'm not streaming, I'm around 23, 24 megabits per second. And I use about 8 to 10 megabits per second when streaming. So if I go here to Task Manager, I can show you that. Go into Performance and then Ethernet. And I'm sending at 11 megabits per second. So add that 11 megabits per second to that speed test we just did. Shows the amount of upload speed that I'm getting right now, which is about as good as it gets around here. How did I know? Somebody's going to tell me what their favorite speed test. I don't care. I don't care. How many times do I have to say that? This is what I use. Get over it. Jim, yeah, this is already a higher level. I'm already paying for a higher level. The only higher levels I can get is more download. They cannot give me more upload speed. I'm glad Tim got a chuckle out of my rant there. Okay. I'll go queue up Sam's email, see if I can show it. I know he has given me permission to show his contact information, but out of attempting to be consistent, he had an issue with this USB port replicator, or dock he calls it, and we spent some time on it. He wound up taking it back to the store and attempting to get a refund. He currently says, let's see, I contacted the original store. Now, this was an online store, as I understand it, not a physical store. Requested a refund, was not Amazon apparently, which they stated they would provide if I returned the item to them. I ended up filing a report via PayPal, which kind of implies that they didn't respond promptly and was asking the same thing, or maybe he did that in parallel. I don't know, which I did. Received a notification from PayPal stating that I am eligible for a refund because the store has received the items. So PayPal has told him that the store has received the items, but the store has not told him that. Oh, see, I was looking over here to read that. I can read it from here now because of my change of setup. And I forgot it again already. Now I'm looking for a new doc, so if you have any suggestions, that would be appreciated. Well, I don't do product reviews. I don't have my head a whole lot into products, but what I can do is show you the process that I would go through for selecting something. So I'm going to go bring up Amazon, and I'm going to take that off screen for a moment. I'm pretty sure I've already established that when I bring up Amazon, there's nothing there of concern. Yeah, All right, so let's bring that up. So what he called it, port expansion? New dock. New dock. Dock for laptop. He wants a lot of connections. He hasn't actually identified or told me what he uses them for, why he needs so many, but he needs a lot. Now, I did recently buy one myself, but I don't think it has all the stuff that he wants. Right now, I'm not using it for much of anything. I just have it over here on the side. And this doesn't, this is just USB extra ports. So I don't think that's what he wants at all. So I think he wants to connect video and perhaps Ethernet. Let's see, he is telling us in chat. Oh, let's bring it up this way. So it comes right up in front of me. Here we go. And see what else that he has said at this point. And then we'll go look at USB-A port on the back. See if he said any more about specifically what he needs. My dock would also need a USB-A port on the back of the of the dock. Okay. My old dock is the CalDigit TS4. Now that one was acceptable to you. It just wasn't working well, right? So how about we start with searching for that? And he says yes to Ethernet. How about we start with that and look for alternatives? And basically what I'm looking to do here is show you my process for selecting anything Amazon, but anything technical. TS4. So the TS4 is at $379. He's not looking for a cheap ports, apparently willing to spend money on it. And well, now if the TS4 was okay and it's just not working right, do you want to buy another one? What is it about the TS4 that was not acceptable? But while I'm waiting for responses from him on that, let me come in here and take a look at some, just tell you some things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for Prime. I want something that's in the Prime program. Go into the item itself and turn off my picture-in-picture. I'm looking over here on the right side. Ships from Amazon, good. Sold by CalDigit. I like it better when it's sold by Amazon, but this is sold by the manufacturer, so that's absolutely acceptable. But if it's sold by some third party and not the actual manufacturer, and it's not sold by Amazon, then I'm less interested in it. That's a yellow flag for me. Then what I'm looking for next, of course, the price and the description. Be sure it fits everything that I want. Come down and look at this description. Sometimes they have things completely wrong, or may have something completely wrong in this. I came across one that was really, oh, I know. I came across, it was a, it was a personal care item that, let's say it was a toothbrush, and not an electric toothbrush, but for power, it said battery. The thing did not take batteries. So take that with a grain of salt, particularly if it's sold by some third party. Sold by the manufacturer, do I expect it to be more accurate? Yeah, I don't know. We've seen a lot of inaccuracies with many computers. So of course, I look through all the pictures to be sure it's got what I want. I'm looking for something about the device that I didn't think of to check on. If there's videos, I'll go look at the videos. There's 6 videos here. So when you click on that, it'll give you this list of videos. And depending upon the item, I may go through all of the videos. Some of the videos may not be specifically for the product that you're looking at. I read through all of this stuff, presuming it's a product I'm not super familiar with. I do not read through all this stuff for mini PCs anymore. Mini PCs, I'm pretty quick about it, and you know that I'm mostly buying B-Link computers, so I'm already familiar with them. These paragraphs I typically find to be more accurate, less likely to have, you know, something that was copy and pasted from some other product. This stuff up here, I get the impression that's more often copy and pasted from another product, and somebody wasn't being careful about it. They had a summer intern doing it. Let's see, where was they should have had us some ratings up here. Where do they give us the ratings? I'm usually seeing it when I scroll down, so I wasn't even aware whether there are ratings up here. When we did a search for it, it would show up there, but I scrolled down to, I typically bypass most of this manufacturer stuff here unless I'm still concerned about whether it has the precise features that I want. I am usually interested in these charts because they will point out features that a product has that I wasn't even aware that they have, or that competing products have that I wasn't aware of. Here's a list of technical specifications. That'd be something that, you know, Sam wants to be sure that he's getting what he needs. Minimum system requirements. So be careful reading for this, especially for this device. Let's see, Mac, Thunderbolt 5, Thunderbolt 4, or Thunderbolt 3. Minimum system requirements. So if his computer doesn't actually have genuine Thunderbolt 3, not something that supports some of the features of Thunderbolt 3, but I want the computer to actually genuinely have Thunderbolt 3. If not, then go look for a different device. I would not want to get this device. And maybe that's been a source of trouble that he has had. Because I think when we investigated that, we found that his Type-C ports did support some Thunderbolt functionality. That doesn't make it a Thunderbolt 3 port. USB-C with data, power, and video support. Keep in mind, not all USB-C provides all 3 of these in the same way. So USB-C, yeah, but what else can you tell me about it? Chromebook, Thunderbolt. Okay, minimum system requirements, USB-C. Okay, well, this is an alternative. All right, so the minimum system requirements, it's not every one of these. This is one minimum system requirement, apparently. If you have this, that would get you minimums. If you have this, I'm thinking that they're not saying that you have both of these. So USB-C is USB 4 Type-C, or USB-C with data, power, and video support. Computer. That's a description of the computer. And then, or you could have a Chromebook that has Thunderbolt or USB-C, or you could have iPad Pro, iPad Air. So when I started reading this, I was thinking minimum system requirements is all of these. That's not the way this is designed. Thank you very much for inconsistency in the computer industry. All right. Let's scroll this up a little bit. The whole idea of this new camera position is so you might think that I'm making better eye contact while I'm actually looking down at the screen. USB 4, Thunderbolt 4 or 5 required for maximum performance. When used with older or less powerful interfaces such as Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 2, Thunderbolt 1, with data, power, and video support, performance will be capped at the capability of the host interface specifications. Tells you about power delivery from the device, gives you size and weight, tells you what's included in the box. Now then, keep going down. We're not done. Now here's some other comparison products. I will typically look over this chart to see, is there some other competing product that I ought to be considering? And it's convenient sometimes to have the difference in prices. Now here's the interesting HDMI dock that's still in that same price range as the TS3, but it's a much smaller device. Number of ports 10 and 5. Gigabit. So these have gigabit Ethernet. This was the only one that has 2.5 gigabit. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a product video that's included in that group of product videos. I don't know if that's always the case. Then here we go. I'm interested in the number of ratings that has. So what did I do there? I just pressed a key that did not do what I thought it would do. 1,596 global ratings, 5-star, 69%. Yeah, that's not super outstanding, but with that high number of global ratings and such a specific device that somebody could easily mispurchase it, I could accept that. Now, I'm not going through this way as a recommendation for Sam. I'm giving Sam, he asked what thoughts that I have. Well, this is my thoughts that I think are most useful is how to go about picking a device. And Sam, you're going to need to do that yourself, because I don't know everything enough about your situation, but be careful, because in my opinion, you've been bitten a couple times by products that haven't worked out very well. I don't know. You know what I meant. I'll read this. Customers consider this Thunderbolt 4 dock to be the best on the market, praising its many ports, including 3 USB-A ports, 10 gig, and build quality. The functionality and connectivity received mixed feedback. While it works well with MacBook Pro, M3 Pro, some report issues with the Ethernet ports stopping completely. Power delivery is also mixed, with some customers saying it powers their MacBook Pro perfectly, while others report no power to the unit. Now, Sam has already told us that he has a pretty high-end computer, and he is not counting on this device to provide power to his computer. He already has a power connector, and it's probably a barrel connector. It probably won't even accept power through USB because there's no USB device that's going to provide enough power for his laptop. The heat level value for the money also gets mixed reviews, with some noting it doesn't get too hot, while others finding it gets hot during use, and some consider it worth the price, while others saying it's too expensive. And I go read the reviews in detail, and I'm not too concerned about how many stars a particular person says, because sometimes I've seen a lot of stars and then they say something in the body of their review that's a total deal breaker for me. You will get more detail in these reviews in most cases. So there's another 4-star review and a 4-star review, 4. Now we're getting down a little bit lower. Ethernet port doesn't work. Everything else works fine, just not the Ethernet port. I had to buy a USB to Ethernet adapter to get Ethernet. Not sure what sort of dodgy Ethernet card they put in these things. Now, this person's a verified purchase, but we don't know what device they're using it on. So, and we don't know what their level of expertise is. So I'm not too dissuaded by this, particularly when purchasing Amazon Prime, and you know that you can return it. When I get a device like this, I want to go test every port and make sure it works. And I have returned one mini computer where one of the USB ports did not work. It did not work for flash drives. It did work for mouse keyboard, or the other way around. But I think it was the flash drives it did not work for. So that's kind of my quick 25-cent overview of how I go about selecting a product. I'm going to check all of Sam's comments rather than taking them individually. OTS4 was great, but it died on me. I did have to get 2 megabit USB 4 cable, as my other Thunderbolt 4 cable that came with the dock did not work. I remember you telling us that. The Thunderbolt 4 cable that came with the dock did not work. That is odd. So rather than getting a replacement from them, you just bought a different cable. Now that USB 4 cable, is it actually rated as a Thunderbolt 4? I think that's a thing. I'm not deeply into that. I'm happy to just get the same dock and call it a day. Worked great on my laptop, same with my previous laptop, plus my 2 work laptops when I had a full-time job. If I were in your shoes, that's it, job over, done, don't even look any further. If you are happy with it and you accept that it was okay or acceptable that it died when it died after the amount of use you got out of it, I would go ahead and just buy another one. That is completely enough for me. My laptop has USB 4 and it worked great with that dock until it suddenly died on me. 1 gig Ethernet is fine. There's an Apple link for something, and that last read chat was Selden Ball saying, but he doesn't have Thunderbolt on his computer, so a Thunderbolt cable not working is not a surprise. Oh, good point. Good point. All right, that might be it. That might be it. Is a Thunderbolt cable automatically backwards compatible? I don't know. Okay, I guess I got to tell you, with as many times as I've been turning my camera off, my nose is just itching and driving me nuts. Yeah, you didn't need to know that, did you? Modern USB has been a nightmare. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a big tangled mess to understand. My laptop does, so just when I get to a point of thinking I'm understanding it, then I come across something different. My laptop does support USB-C power, but it is not enough, as I would get power loss without warning. I have to use the ASUS charger that looks like a rectangle. Does the ASUS connect to the USB-C port? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing the ASUS chargers probably has a barrel connector. There is separate Ethernet drivers for the product. Yeah, that might have been that person's problem on the review when they said the Ethernet didn't work. If they didn't follow the instructions, read the manual, or, well, sometimes we don't get a manual, right? And they'll have a QR code. You're expected to use your phone to access that QR code and go read the instructions. So that's a thing that has to be done. And I've got somebody at the front door. No, I'm not going to go there. I think it's a delivery because it didn't sound like a knock on the door. It sounded like they're just putting packages down. What is that telling me? No, there's another knock. I think this is a person I don't want to talk to. All right, I'm going to go look.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, I'm glad I checked. I did want to talk to that person. And it was a delivery. What is the box was leaking. He said, "Well, whatever you ordered, it's leaking." Is that a computer product or what? It was dish soap. No problem. All right. Audio confirmed. The ASUS charger is its own port. So yeah, that means yes, it's a barrel port. Oh, that's the computer itself. I'll go show you his computer. I can't, fiber is not available for me. I'd love to have fiber. It's not available in my neighborhood, if that question was posed to me. Okay. Look at there. Ken Stout just keeping himself alive so he can keep accumulating 50 points per minute. And let's come over here. Well, I wonder if we can see that on. Yeah, I was about to bring it up on Amazon, but I thought, no, I'll keep the TS4 there. Pro Hour P16. I don't think that's the H7606. H7606, Shop ASUS. Looks like it. That looks like it. Do I need $900? Gadzooks. I'm going to guess that he got a better price on it somewhere sometime. There was an Apple link. He uses his laptop for work, he says. Go back in here and find that Apple link right here and see what else he said. He's on fiber. My laptop is nuts. I'm assuming that has to do with its capability. It's high-end capability. See, I was looking over there again because that's my habit, watching chat over there. I can do it over here now. 64 gigabyte of RAM. I'm really curious, do you really need that much laptop for the work that you do? Or did you just want that much laptop? What work do you do that you need that kind of a laptop for work? And let's see, what are you showing us here? Oh, CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 for $500. All righty. Yeah, if I were in your shoes, I liked the old product. It worked fine, did everything that I wanted to do. I'm okay with that it died when it died. I'd just go buy it again and be done with it. So let's move on. Are there any other topics that have come up in chat that I have not noticed? I know that I intended to go catch the oranges. Let's see, Ken Stout, we already talked about the email. David Graham, hello. Chris Garrett, hello. Just checking to see if the oranges had anything, had a particular question or something. And Scott, an exclamation mark. Maybe he's just doing that to keep himself alive as a participant. If you have something in chat every 5 minutes, within 5 minutes, then you are accumulating 50 points per minute. If you get beyond 5 minutes without having said anything in chat, then you're no longer accumulating 50 points. Points will matter sometime down the road, a little more. Oh, all right. Greg M. I don't know what it's, I haven't read the whole thing yet, but a laugh from Google AI Suite. Oh man, I mean to tell you, I know what you're talking about. Laugh from Google AI Suite. I asked it to compare two motherboards. It simply said, model, I am not able to provide an answer to this question as it is outside of my current capabilities. I have had several issues with AI systems, with, let's see, the AI Studio, and with Copilot, and with Gemini, and with my Amazon Echo devices, where they're telling me they can't do something that they have always been able to do. In the most annoying in the AI Studio and Gemini, both telling me that they can't search the internet in their deep research mode. They've done it before, but I don't know. I've been finding AIs to be, it's like they got a virus running around that makes them sick and they can't perform. And I also had one with AI Studio where I asked it a question and it says it's researching. And then it says, I have the answer. And it doesn't give it to me. I said, where's the answer? And it says, I have the answer. And it doesn't display on the screen. Stupid AI. Tim likes the shirt. Oh, I was looking for oranges. Let's do the auto scroll. Laptop is overkill. That email was on a separate issue, not the original issue. Are you implying that you've sent another email? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he is. I think he must have had, when I just looked at his thing about, did you get my email? Maybe that was a subsequent. I am first. Did you get my email? That was from last night. Well, no, I just joined. Well, no, I just joined. Actually, as you would say to me, you are, what? That email was on a separate issue. You're confusing me. The email last night had to do with having comments turned off. Is that what you're referring to? Was there another email other than that? Down here he says, oh, to Scott.
Yes, affirmative.
So yes, there's some other email other than that. Because that's what I asked him. So I'm not totally convinced. So I'm going to see if there's another email from him. Or did he say yes, affirmative, that it was about comments turned off? Do you want to turn right or left? Yes. Yeah, he sent an email last night about comments being turned off. I don't see any other recent emails from you. So, again, clear and effective communications, not... It had a picture attached. Yes, the email I got from you did have a picture attached, and it was about the comments issue. What are you trying to tell me? See, okay, so maybe it's just that he wants me to display it. He's not satisfied until I display it. Is that it? God, Jiminy Christmas. Hello, Doug. Last night, one of the Zoomies asked why I turned off my comments on my live streams. I did not, and I had an entire weeks that were turned off. Ironically, I had 1 week of live streams that said processing will start within 24 hours. Most of those are caught up, and I had to manually check the settings for comments and turn them back on. And he says, attached is yours from last week. He's showing one of my videos that has comments turned off. I already responded to this. This is not something new. This is not something different. I already responded. Come up here. To the beginning of the show, did you get my email? Saw your email this morning. Thanks for that. I did not know comments were turned off. I have gone back and turned on. I found comments were turned off on 3 or 4 of my videos, recent live streams, and I don't know why.
Read chat, please.
How often does this happen? All right, here again, clear and effective communications. How often does this happen? That Ken fails to communicate clearly, that YouTube turns off comments without the content creator choosing that Doug doesn't understand what Ken means. How often does what happen? Although I do think I have something helpful to give you, Ken. Let me see. Started to look at this. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is going to work. So I'm going to demonstrate it live. And fall flat on my face live. I come over here to my live videos because I don't think you have to go through each video individually. So I'm going to just try selecting a few of them here. And then, so you could select this checkbox up here to select all of the videos that are currently displayed on the screen. Then go up to edit and choose comments. And yeah, turn comments on here. So now that I know that you can do it that way, let's go back, cancel that, and remove all these check marks. No, that put all the check marks on all of them. And then go to edit, comments, and here you could turn on comments for all of them. And if some of them currently have comments turned off, it might display differently. I don't know. Let's go see. So if I come back and do this a different way, if I don't want to turn off comments for an actual stream, so I'll do it for this test live stream. I'll come up here, comments, turn comments off, update videos, understand the implications. Updating videos, it's safe to navigate away. I've got a refresh circle going, so it's trying to update that. I had thought, when Ken first brought this to my attention, I had suspected that this happened by virtue of my live streams with Carrie Holzman, where we were using StreamYard, because I did just recently discover, yesterday, in fact, I think it was, that those videos on my channel were not monetized. So I went through yesterday and turned those on for monetization. So next time Carrie and I do a live stream, if somebody in chat wants to remind me to check on monetization, I would very much appreciate that. So now when I select all of these, I know that one of them has comments turned off. If I go into comments, does it give me any indication of that? It does not. So now if I turn comments on for that particular video, update, understand implications, updating videos. Now, since there's more videos to update, it might take longer to do, but that wasn't bad. It's done. And it was this one. So to see if comments are turned on, I don't think I'm going to see it from there. Of course, there aren't any comments on an unlisted live stream. But if I go into the pencil, then scroll all the way down, yes, comments are on. All right. Did he clarify what he was referring to? How often does this happen? That's a response to Scott. And nothing else from Ken. I guess we're getting kind of close to me talking about that computer. Maybe we work on it. Oh, I noticed on Carrie's channel, there no longer has the @ symbols in the chat room, right? I think that's where I saw that. Yeah. I'm not sure if I was watching it at live. Yeah, I think I was watching it live. I was way behind. And noticed that the @ symbols are not there. Pop bear case. Tim Cruz asking if I plan to buy iPhone 17. No, I don't. I'm happy with my 13 mini.
That's a big 10-4.
Scott says yes. Now I got to figure out what in the world he's saying yes to. I got to think back to things that I've been talking about recently. Oh, Kerry Holzman, the @ symbol is gone. That's what he meant. So it would be really helpful if you would have done !Y, @ symbols gone from Carrie's show. That would have been so helpful. Scott saying, YouTube has been terrible lately. Yesterday on Carrie's stream, over half of my messages went through. I think he's actually complaining that almost half of his messages did not go through. What's up with the computer on the desk? Ryan is saying, let's get to it, huh? And that's from Jim to Greg for his streaming build. Okay. There's Daniel Pert checking up in chat so that he's getting his 50 points, and Phil Stodd doing the same thing. Good. All right. This is a lab rat. What's a lab rat to a computer technician? It's a computer that's in the lab used for whatever is needed at the time. It's not going back to a customer. I'm not trying to repair it. What I'm doing with it currently, and what it makes an interesting story, I think, is I have a computer in a client's office. It's not Windows 11 compliant. We need to get a Windows 11 computer in there for her. There's a complication. Now, you know that I've done some of these situations where I take an image backup of the Windows 10 computer and put that onto a new B-Link computer, restore it there, and do the drivers. Jump through those hoops. I don't always do that. It depends upon the circumstances. With the Law 40 office, I'm not doing that at all. All of those are doing a transfer of the user profile using Fab's Auto Backup from the Windows 10 computer to the Windows 11 base image computer that I have configured for their office. Now, that computer, I replicate that to new computers by cloning it. I don't build that from scratch every time, because the amount of custom configurations and software products we have, it's about a 6-hour job just for configuring the computer. That's not installing it at their desk. So I cut that down to about an hour. That's a huge time savings. Very much worth it when you have an office that has a lot of computers. Now, in this case, in this situation, there is I would have preferred to just reinstall Microsoft Office on the new computer and use Fab's Auto Backup to transfer a profile from the Windows 10 computer. There's a complication because that computer has a highly specialized, very expensive construction software. This business is a general contractor, so he subs out to a lot of subcontractors and manages the job. This software program is very sophisticated, way beyond what they use, what they need, but they've been using this software for like 20 years. All of their history is in it. Now I'm coming up to the big kicker. Well, two big kickers. This software is discontinued. The company has discontinued the product. It's possible they've moved to a web version. I think what they did is they moved to a completely new version that is drastically different, hugely expensive, but worth it and justifiable to a ongoing general contractor business. That's not what this company is. This gentleman has worked way beyond retirement age, and now he's decided he's not actually going to cut off a retirement, but he's just going to finish out the jobs that he's currently working on and then let go of the business. So he's not doing any new bidding for jobs. And that's the real shining part of this software, is bidding for new jobs. So he just wants to finish out the jobs that he has. That's going to take a few years, possibly. Construction, major multi-million-dollar construction jobs can take a long time. So there is a person in the community of users of this software that has taken it upon himself to provide updates to the program. They need updates for tax schedules, because tax rates change in different environments. So it's not, it is built into the system to be able to do those updates. This software will function moving forward, can function just fine. It just needs those tax updates. So that is available to us. The catch is we cannot install that on a new computer. First of all, that program was never designed for Windows 11, but more significantly, even a Windows 10 computer, we can't install it fresh because their activation servers have been shut down. It cannot be activated, so we cannot do a fresh install of this. Replacement products to take the data that's in there and put it into a new program is hugely expensive. You're probably in the neighborhood of tens of thousands of dollars to do. And all he needs to do is finish out. So worst case scenario, what we'll do is keep the Windows 10 computer in place and give this person at the office a separate computer that they'll use for all web interactions. That's going to be a big nuisance. What I'm wanting to do, attempting to do, and I think I can do because I've done it before, is I've made a backup of the image of that computer that is currently in service, and I have restored it to this computer. And currently I'm at the point where I need to convert it from MBR to GPT because it has the MBR partition type. In order to do that, I restore the image to this computer. When I restart this computer, it won't boot. I need to go back into Macro and Reflect and choose an option for fix boot problems. When I do that, that's the point I'm at right now. It can't complete that. And that's the part you might be interested in seeing. I think the fixes for it is to go boot into Windows and shrink down the C drive to give it space to be able to create the recovery partition. I think that's what it is. So, giving you that background. Let's see. Oh, my capture device. And what I'll do, let's see, I think this doesn't expose anything specific, is show you what happens when I try to do the fixed boot problems when the drive isn't ready to be able to do that. Okay, I've connected my HDMI capture
Read
device.
chat, please.
Greg M says, how many primary partitions on that drive? You only allowed 3. Oh, it's only 1. And you're about to see what's
Read
on
chat,
it.
please.
Another one is this machine's BIOS old enough to support UEFI with CSM? Yes, it is. And I have checked BIOS. It has CSM enabled and it has secure boot turned off. All right, now let's see. I think I'm going to do studio mode with my change of systems here. Not quite sure how this is going to work. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's fine. And then to get, oh, we need this mouse.
Chat, please.
At least read chat. Doman 2000, if you're interested, see my postings here. Why would I be interested in seeing your postings? Maybe you gave more information previous. Okay, so you're not seeing this yet. Checking to be sure. Okay. Okay, I'll cancel this. Okay, yeah, now let's try transition. See if that goes to you. Yes, and then if I turn off studio mode. Yeah. Okay, so here's Macrium Reflect booted off of a flash drive. And the next task is to come up here to the restore menu and fix Windows boot problems. And here it shows me Windows 10 Professional is what it sees. It's recognizing that as the D drive, is probably recognizing something else right now as the C drive, maybe the flash drive. Now, if I just click next, telling it that I want to do this, then it's showing my flash drive with a currently drive letter of G assigned to it. What I'm supposed to do here is select which partition your PC should boot from. I don't want it to boot from the flash drive. So I go back. I'm showing you my first discovery of this situation, the sequence that I went through. So click on this one. Maybe I have to click on it before clicking next. And no, that's not the issue. And when I came across this, I don't remember if it was this morning or last night, I get, oh yeah, I remember that. Because I have to go back, and I think what it is shrink down the C drive a little bit so there's enough room for an additional partition. Now, I'm going to take that off screen for a moment to get to another place where I can show you what partitions are on it. And I'm being careful about this because there's some places in here that I'd be exposing names. Well, now, that's interesting. Yeah, to the person who said one primary partition. This doesn't quite hold with what I claimed. So here's what's on this drive currently. C drive is showing as is assigned to the system partition, but this is after, this is just booting from the flash drive. The assigned drive letters can be assigned dynamically when the computer restarts. This would actually be what we want for the boot partition. Now this one, this drive, the drive, oh, that threw me a couple times. I was reading that as 506 gigabytes. That's megabytes. That's a tiny little partition. 11, this one, 11 gigabytes. That's an HP recovery partition. And then out here, a 509 megabyte, and then this would just be excess space. But the word primary is on all of these. Now, that I don't know a whole lot about. That is not in my recollection of what the solution was, my previous experience. I did not have to make things not primary. So I'm interested in what more you have to say about that. But there's only one bootable partition there currently showing as the D drive. Okay, now
Read chat, please.
Move mice.
Read chat, please.
Craig M. Oh, with GPT, they're all primary. Yeah. So what was it? What was this about? Yeah, I know the MBR to GPT tool. That won't work until I get the computer booted on the MBR. So who was it that was saying something about primary? Oh, how many primary partitions on that drive? You are only allowed 3. Why was I thinking he said 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is, you're saying on MBR you're only allowed 3? I'm not sure about that. Title, convert MBR to G. I think I've already done one of those videos. Oh, the title. Is that what he's saying here? Open link in new tab. Domain 2000. Your comments in here. I'm looking for domain. Oh, the domain. All right. Oh, yeah, Bright Tech. Yeah, I looked at his video this morning. He doesn't deal with this issue that I'm facing. Actually, I don't think I finished his yet, but he wasn't dealing with Mac and Reflect anyway. Yeah, that was just the MBR to GPT.
Read chat, please.
Oh, MBR to GPT will not convert if there are more than 3 primary partitions. Okay. Well, maybe the fixed boot problems from Mac and Reflect might fix that. I don't know. I will catch up to these read chats. I see. I think you meant exclamation mark C. You got to turn that I upside down. David, you did a Bing search on how to do this? You think I can't do a web search? Come on. Come on. You're wasting my time with that. Hey, Doug brought up a subject. Let me go do a web search and give the solution for him.
Read chat, please.
That last read chat, they didn't intend to yell. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Greg, David, it's not helping for you to just go do a search and throw me a link. No, that's distraction. It's not helpful. I know you're intending to help, but no, it's not. Eventually make the plumbing easier to stop at the drain. My video help posting, so reading and study, but it is not so easy to do correctly. Yeah, I'm not really too interested in chasing your other thoughts because I've done this before. It's not a big deal. MBR up to 4 primary partitions or 3 primary, 1 extended. The rest would be logical partitions. You just restore the original image, back up in MBR, boot up, then use MBR. No, you don't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It will work if the computer boots up in MBR. If the computer fails to boot in MBR, then you've got to fix whatever's preventing the booting problem. Brightech did not have that situation. I had an MBR system that had an extended partition and a bootable partition, and then a backup partition and a recover partition. I had to nuke the old backup partition to get MBR to GPT to work. Now, actually, you're reminding me there of an issue because I remember, and it wasn't that long ago that I did this, where
Read chat, please.
I did a restore to I did restore in this situation, but I did not restore the second partition, which was a backup partition. Some of you who've been paying attention know that I will sometimes split a drive in half, and the second partition will be a place to store backups. Don't go there. Don't go. That's not a valid. It's a very, very helpful tool. It is one utility. It is one method that's helpful. And but because I didn't restore that partition, the MBR to GPT worked fine, and I didn't come across that situation. What is the original system then? MBR. It's MBR. I don't know how you missed that. Why would I be even talking about this subject if the original wasn't MBR? Only important is the boot sys partitions. They fix boot problems. I think what the explanation was is that it won't function if it doesn't have space. I think it was to create the recovery partition. Yes, recovery partition isn't required in order to boot, but for the repair function to work, I think it has to be there. Yeah, you guys are gonna have me running down all kinds of, what about this? What about this? What about this? Ay, caramba. So to do that, if I'm remembering right, I wasn't actually planning to do this during the show. I'm gonna go check and see if I left myself any notes about that, what to do in that circumstance, because I did not get time to go look for my notes.
Read chat, please.
I have 3 pages. Phil Stodd saying, given the numerous, literally millions of different system configurations, there is no one answer to any computer problem. Absolutely. Need to read my notes here a little bit. What's with the dead air, Doug? I'm working on it. I did not find it in my OneNote document. So I'm looking for a different place that I might have notes on that. And if I don't find that, then we will go try to refine that through a AI tool. 16 results in my Gemini for MBR to GPT. Okay, let's try this. Let's see what kind of mood Google AI Studio is in today. I'm going to start over here. Let's see. I'm not connected remotely. This is capture, so I can't give a picture. All right, we're getting back on track here. Oh, was redeployed to new hardware part of that? No. We just fix Windows boot problems. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to dictate this. I am working on a project to transfer programs and files from a Windows 10 MBR computer to a Windows 11 computer. I've done this process before. The part that I'm stuck at the moment is that I have restored the image backup of the MBR drive with all of its partitions to a computer that supports legacy and UEFI mode. It currently is not booting, and my recollection is that I need to use the menu option in Macrium Reflect to fix Windows boot problems, but that is not functioning correctly. Period. The first screen in that step shows the Windows 10 installation that I want to fix. When I click the next button, it then shows another screen. It wants me to select which drive I want to use as the boot drive. And the only thing it shows on that screen is the flash drive that I use to boot Macrim Reflect. Period. My recollection is last time I went through this, I had to shrink the C drive to make room for another partition. I think it was a recovery partition that this repair operation needs to have that space in order for it to complete. Okay, let's see what it tells me. Could be that's going to tell me something that I'm going to say, oh yeah, I remember that now. Or it might be completely wrong. You're on the right track. Macrim's fix Windows boot problems, powerful tool for migrations. Not so much syncing C, but rather needing space for EFI partition and potentially reserve partition. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And sounds familiar, which are crucial for UEFI booting. MBR partitions don't have an ESP. Oh yeah, and the other challenge about it is that shrinking a C partition to make more room available on that drive would not work because it needs to be space at the beginning of the drive, I think. Here's a breakdown of what's likely happening. Understanding the problem. When you restore a MBR image to UEFI, look over here, Doug, to a UEFI capable machine, even if that machine is set to legacy boot, the restored disk layout still reflects the MBR structure. For Windows 11 or even Windows 10 in UEFI mode, the system needs EFI system partition, small FAT32. Now this doesn't actually even show, yeah, there's no, this partition right here should show FAT32 instead of NTFS. Like that one down there does. Now wait a minute, that says GPT. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? That's not right. That ain't right. It's seeing a GPT. That size is the size that was on the MBR partition. So I don't know if, because I haven't done the fix yet, does it not show up there yet? Rand Israel says, that's what I said earlier. This is a GPT disk. You didn't bring my attention to this. I'm wondering if this is in some kind of a mid-confused state. Let me see if I can show. Let's see, with a flash drive, is there a log? Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to prove. Where is a? If I don't prove it, then we're chasing the wrong way. Oh, I know. Yeah, this should work. I gotta see if I have. What I'm going to use to confirm that I have completed the restore is to check in the backup file what the size of that boot partition. Space utilized should be. Okay, so now I have what the size. All right. You might have been hearing some echoing there. It should be turned off now. And then I need, this is working. Come out of that. And then if I do some challenging things with the setup here to do this. And oh, that's in there. That's the capture. Okay. How would I do that? Should be, oh, that should work. Capture. Oh, yeah. There we go. That'll work. That'll work. That'll work. Then make that big. Preview. Whoa. I'm fixing the blur because the backup file name, of course, includes my client's name. Yeah, that does it. So then come back here. Turn off studio mode. And then go to capture. Okay. So this is the backup file is here, and this is the partitions that are in that backup file. So you can see up here it is MBR. Let's see, are you seeing my mouse pointing? No, you're not. I got to point with this mouse, I think. Yeah. So up here is identified as MBR, and over here it's identified as 141.22 gigabytes. I restored this Oh, you know what? The drive that I restored this to previously had a GPT partition type. So I'm thinking that the fix boot problems would probably fix that. Yeah. So at 141.22, that's what we see when we're looking at the partition on the computer, which to get to that, come back to restore, fix Windows boot problems. No, that's not where we saw it. On create backups. And I got some text messages coming repeatedly at me from a client. Okay, that'll wait. This guy seems confused. Does he know what he's doing? It's a very appropriate time for that, along with the different arrangement I have on my monitors. It's adding to it. Oh yeah, here. Okay, so here's where we see where Macron Reflect is saying that this is a GPT, yet this is the restored boot drive, and we can confirm that by the size of space in use on that drive. In my theory, if this is the same problem that I ran into before, is this fix Windows boot problems will fix that. Now, come back to here. Okay, solution down here. I'm going to get right down and see what it's telling us for the solution. I think I used a partition, a third-party tool to move partitions around, but not remembering quite yet. Oh, access the command prompt in Macron Reflect. I do remember that. Fix Windows, but even though you know it's not working fully, asking select a boot drive, close that window, other tasks open command prompt. Oh, really? Okay, restore tab, Windows boot problems. When you get to that screen where it's asking to select a boot drive, simply close that window. Other tasks open command prompt. Close this window, it says. Other task. Now, it's right down here. I don't know what it's trying to do. Take me to some other way of doing that, I guess. Okay, then what? Identify your disk and partitions, disk part. Yeah, this is sounding familiar. Oop, wrong keyboard. Waiting for disk part to boot up. There it is. List disk. It says select disk 0 the correct number, if that is our disk. List part. All right, disk 0, that is obviously the 1 terabyte drive. So cell 0, cell disk 0. There it is. List part. List par should be enough. Create space for new partitions. You'll likely need to shrink your main Windows partition to create unallocated space for ESP, MSR. Identify your main Windows partition. Let's say it's partition 2. Is it? Yes, it is partition 2, 919 gigabytes. Select partition 2. SEL PAR 2. Shrink, desired 500, minimum 500. This will shrink the partition by 500 megabytes, giving you enough space for the ESP MSR. You might need to adjust the desired value if your C drive is already full. At 500 megabytes, usually safe. Okay. So we have it selected. So we're setting both desired and minimum as 500. I guess we're telling it we want
Read
500.
chat,
If you
please.
can't do that, then don't do it. Ren Israel saying this procedure will create the EFI plus MSR partitions after the Windows partition. That's what I was thinking too. It seems like this is creating them after, not before. Not sure what impact that would have. Yeah, well, let's see where it takes us to next. It might have plans for that. I don't know. I did have that on my mind as well. I have too many things on my mind right now to have spoken it. So I have hit the enter key. We're waiting for it to complete that. There it is. Successfully shrunk the volume by 500 megabytes. Now, see what it tells us next. This is totally, remember, this is a lab rat. I don't care if I totally bork this instance of this. So we're going through this together. Now create the ESP in the unallocated space you just made and create EFI partition. Yeah, see, I'm with Ran. This doesn't seem quite right to me, but I'm going to go ahead and follow it through. And I can probably do these commands with just 3 letters. Create partition EFI size 100 in the currently unused and available space. So double checking. I was looking at the screen, but just so that you can see what step we're on. enter. I'm not seeing any response to the enter key. Let's try backspace, 100, create partition. I'm double checking spelling and such. EFI size equals 100. Enter. Oh, there it worked. Hit the enter key harder, Doug. Okay. Succeeded. Then next is format quick. Shall we try 3 letters? FOR QUI. The word quick is a parameter, so maybe that it won't work for that, but if this doesn't work, it'll just give me a help screen probably. 32 label equals quote system quote. Then I'll show you that. Bring that back up on screen. So we're on this step now. Format quick, FS equals fat, label system. Enter, and get clicked in the window to be sure I'm there. In fact, I'll backspace and quote enter for more information. Yes, I did not like that. Format quick, FS. Oh, look, it says help format. So the command did work. I think the 3 letters for the command was valid because it knows I wanted the format command. Quick, FS equals fat 32 space label equals, I'll give it the capital letter, system. All right, enter. Successfully completed. So FOR for format was also valid. All the commands should be 3 letters with like list disk and select disk or select partition. The 3 letters work on that second word as well. Assign letter S. Let's get a triple click here to keep our location. And we're assigning that letter so we can access it temporarily, as the instructions told us. That sounds familiar. I remember that. Next is create partition. It's going to be a 16 megabyte partition. Size equals 16. Yeah, create partition. And I could then CRE for the create command. Enter. Succeeded. Next, verify partitions and exit disk part. List part, then exit. Okay, there's our main partition. There's that 500 megabytes and the 16. Yeah, but where are they located? Now exit. Next step, rebuild boot configuration data. This sounds familiar too. BCD to copy the necessary boot files to the ESP and create new BCD store. Still, seems like it's in the wrong location. Identify the drive letter of your Windows installation. Might not be C in the rescue environment. You can do this by typing dir C, dir D when you find your Windows folder. Yeah, because I'm still in the Macrim Reflect rescue environment. I think we saw that was the D drive. Yeah, that's it. Is there any? Yeah, there's a C, has to do with the rescue. It's probably
Read chat, please.
maybe a virtual drive. Yeah, in disk part, I was thinking that too before we exited disk part. Randy Israel says we could have done list volume. In fact, I still like doing that because that last thing they had me do with what did they say? Yeah, the list part, that was showing partitions perhaps on multiple drives. So list vol. C drive is, C partition is 100 megabytes. Yeah, D drive is the 918. And this screen doesn't even show what drive those are on. This is a list of volumes that are accessible to the computer. And it's not even identifying here that those are on separate drives, because there's the flash drive that
Read
I
chat,
booted
please.
from. There's a backup drive attached, an external USB drive, and the internal SSD. Zvi says install a new system and then overriding the C partition with the old systems. Yeah,
Read chat, please.
yeah, that'd be a good way to go. But I'm not going to jump there now. I'm going to follow this through and see how it goes. Let me bring these two up. Zvi saying install a new system, then overriding the C partition with the old systems. Apparently this computer that was in service a couple weeks ago already had a GPT system. If it had an MBR system on it, which certainly was possible because it was a Windows 10 computer, then I could have, that would have been an easier way to go. Yeah, understood. The D drive is what we're looking for. Okay, now come back to that. And here, exit disk part. Identify the drive library Windows installation as D. Boot, BCD boot. Windows /S colon. Let's see, D Windows. Okay, so there's the D Windows /SS specifies the ESP partition that we assigned the letter S to. Yes, we did that. Tells BCD boot to create UEFI specific boot environment. All right, let's see how that goes. BCD boot. D : /Windows /S space S : the capitalization does not matter there. Then UEFI. Okay, that's the command. Enter. Boot file successfully created. You should get a message like boot file successfully created. Yes, we did. Reboot and adjust BIOS settings. Crucially, go to BIOS settings, ensure your boot mode is set to UEFI native or UEFI only. Wait. Wait, what? I haven't done. Oh, okay. No, we're all right. We should go to BIOS settings. Sure. UEFI, native UEFI only. Disable CSM
Read chat,
legacy. Okay. That's unnecessary. CSM doesn't interfere with GPT disks, he says. Keep in mind that we have not done the MBR to GPT conversion yet. So what they're wanting us to do here is, since
Read chat,
it's
please.
MBR that's still on the drive, they want to ensure that we don't get booted in legacy mode. Rand says you're already in GPT. I don't think so. The image that I restored, it was MBR. I showed you that. I proved that. The GPT that you were seeing was the computer being, or Macrim Reflect being confused as to what the state of that drive is. But the C drive that I restored was restored from an MBR image. So Rand, you're
Read chat,
saying
please.
if you were on MBR, you wouldn't have been able to create an EFI partition. Well, I'm booted off of the flash drive. So the flash drive booted in UEFI mode.
Read chat, please.
In disk part list disk. Okay, over here, GPT, we have an asterisk. So it's saying that the 953 gigabytes is in GPT mode. Okay, I will try it your way, Rand. And if that doesn't work, we'll go back and take a look at BIOS. But I don't know what the BIOS is currently set at. I don't recollect. Even if it doesn't boot, we could still go back in. It's not going to damage anything if it is set incompatible. Okay. So exit from disk part.
Read chat, please.
If you're using GPT without
Read
secure
chat,
boot,
please.
either BIOS setting will work. Scott says, doesn't Windows 11 require GPT to install? Yes, but we're not dealing with Windows 11 yet. We're dealing with Windows 10 image. Okay. I still got the last 4 questions in my head and this over here and a remote connection. This is challenging, guys. All right, so created, type exit, reboot your computer. So Rand's saying skip the BIOS. Don't need to go there. All right, let's see what happens. Pull a flash drive, backup drive. And we haven't done the Macrim Reflect fix Windows boot problems, which it didn't tell us to do that. All right, that looks encouraging.
Read chat, please.
Rand says you don't need to anymore. You fix it manually, saying that's why we don't need to use the macro reflect fix. Now, we never did anything to move those partitions to the correct order, and it has booted. So let's go. All right. Fix that, Doug. Okay, that's pretty minor. Let's see which way I want to go.
Read chat, please. Read chat, please.
Come on, you guys. Remember in Mark, GPT and MBR refers to disk, not partitions. Yeah. Point taken. Rand says after logon, I'd like to see what disk management shows. That's exactly where I was going. I'm just figuring out how I want to do this to reduce the amount of work I need to do on blurring things. So that is all right. Logging in now, and then we'll get to disk management and see what the how the partition alignment shows.
Read chat, please.
Because that did not make sense. Rand says, interesting. So apparently EFI partition being the first partition is not a requirement, just a recommendation, at least for disks small enough. Yeah, I'm presuming we're going to see that it is not the first partition. So at this point, we're not going to need the MBR to GPT utility because we manually created the GPT partitions and use the, what was that, a rebuild command? The boot BCD or BCD boot. Okay, interesting.
Read chat, please.
It's still trying to log in. Okay, I'm going to turn off desktop icons. And I'll probably frequently take this off screen. Okay, so here we have the Windows 10 desktop. And then I'm going to right click off screen on the Windows button. Yeah, that doesn't show anything. So if I transition that, yeah, this studio mode is weird with my new setup. I'm not going to try to explain it to you. Disk management. Okay. So there's a 100 megabyte system partition. There's a main partition. There's some unallocated space. There's a 500 megabyte partition, recovery partition. EFI, here's the EFI system partition. So yeah, not the first partition. There's 21 gigabytes unallocated. That S drive assignment that we did, I think it was S drive, that we did at the command prompt in Macro Reflect is no longer with us, so we don't have to clean that out. Oh, this E drive. We don't need an E drive. I think that might be residual from the work that we did.
Read chat, please. Read chat, please.
Okay, these read chat messages. Also no need the D drive. That appears to be the WinRE recovery partition. Oh yeah, we don't need a drive loader there. So that can be done right here. Just right click and change drive letter and path and remove the drive letter. And same thing on the E drive and the F drive. We don't need no stinking F drive. All right. Overtime, really? 10 seconds past 1 o'clock. You're calling overtime. Okay, so at this point, my next step would be to make an image backup of this, the drive as I have it now, restore that to the Windows 11 capable computer,
Read chat, please.
then do an in-place upgrade to Windows 11. Rand says when RE is the last partition. Recovery partition, yeah. And there's a distinguish that from the HP recovery partition. And I think when I do the backup image, I can pick which partitions that I want to back up. And Macroom Reflect will tell me if I'm not including all the partitions that are needed for booting. All right, well, let's go look at that. Should I? Nah, I need to be regular about cutting this off.
Read chat, please.
You can delete the middle 506 megabyte partition and extend the C drive another 1 gigabyte. All right.
Read chat, please.
I think I'm going to need to go ahead and shut this down for today. The 506 megabyte partition doesn't contain anything important. And I'm a little bit weak on that. It does not contain anything of user data.
Read chat, please.
But I think you're probably right, but I don't want to have to redo all this over again. I'm more inclined to do a image backup of everything that's there now and then possibly go delete those. Sheriff John used another candle today. So how about the long intro? Okay, I don't know what Sheriff John using a candle has to do with anything, or even what that means. That must mean some cultural reference I'm not aware of. You can check the re-agent. Yeah, there's lots of things I could still go do. No, it's time to end it. You're gonna keep saying you could do this, you could do that. No, that's done. Let's put this to bed. I can move forward from here. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Thank you guys for participating in that. Oh, let's go. Ran Israel, you were pretty outstanding with all of that. So let's go throw some points. I know you don't care about the points. Shut up about that. Let's do some extra stuff. Yeah, that was really pretty good. Just Me says you have to be older. Really? You sure? It's not possible for a person to not be aware of some cultural reference that you're aware of. If a person's at a certain age, they should know every cultural reference that you know. Please. I don't buy that. Yeah, you have to wait a week. Because even if the only thing I could do now is start the backup. And then there's more to be done after that.
Read chat, please.
Scott should don't change too many things at once. That's where I'm going. Yeah, I wasn't ready to delete that extra partition. Okay, shut up, guys. You're gonna keep doing rechats. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. Here's the email address, and you know the rest of the drill. Long outro. Boom.
That's all, folks.
Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day. We love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team.